following awesome safari took place in western Mozambique. The safari saw Brooks and Clive fly into Tet, where they then went by road for about 4 hours, on pretty bumpy roads, and eventually made their way to camp, which is situated on an awesome riverbank up in the mountains towards the Malawian border and quite close to the Luangwa Valley of Zambia. The quest for this safari was for Brooks to get a nice leopard as part of his Big 7. Upon getting into camp, the team settled in, unpacked, and then went on to check their rifle and make their way out to check the first baits that had been pre-baited prior to the safari.
Well, I killed the box. Knocked it off the tree anyway. We just got to camp a little while ago, got unpacked, had a little lunch, and at this point in time, we are finally on our way to check leopard baits. We shot the rifle, everything's good, we're all packed up on the truck, ready to go. I don't know these guys behind me yet, so I can't introduce them to you. Let's go find a leopard. All right.
This magnificent concession is extremely wild and remote, and it took the team quite a long time to get out there and start checking baits that had been pre-baited from the previous safari. We got to the first bait in a beautiful riverbed, and there had not been any action on this particular bait, but the scenario looked pretty good, and we were pretty positive that it would produce something over the next few days. From here we continued through the Miombo and Brachystegia woodland and headed towards a pretty famous mountain in the area called Monzi, which is a superstitious mountain amongst the locals. At the base of this mountain we had our second bait.
Bait number 2 shows a little promise.
This bait at Monzi Mountain had been hit, and very difficult to look for tracks in the area because of the long grass and the thick terrain, but we could pick up some tracks, and one track was a female and one track was a decent sized male, and a decision was made there and then to take the opportunity, because of the way the meat had been eaten and how little had been eaten and how fresh it was, that this cat had probably only just found this bait, that we would take our chance, build a quick blind and sit for that cat that evening.
This second blind we checked today. The first one, no sign on it. This one's been eaten on a little bit, and we're thinking that the leopard might have found it this morning, ate a little bit, and went laid up. We'll come back a little early this afternoon. If you read the script that we wrote, he's going to be in the daytime. We're all brushed in. We got us a path, 50 yards maybe. It's going to be if he does his part, all I got to do is mine, and we'll be in good shape. first day. It normally doesn't happen for me on the first day. But we had 2 leopards. We had a female come in early. And then we got a big tom that I think is at the bottom of the tree. We're on a roll already. Exciting stuff, man. That's number 5. And number 6.
After the shot, the team took their time, gathered themselves, grabbed some lighting, etc. And we were pretty confident that Brooks had made a fatal shot and the cat was laying at the bottom of the tree the way it had fallen out. But we always approached with extreme caution, and with shining onto the base of the tree, we saw the cat laying there and made a slow approach.
Big teeth, eh?
Interestingly, this cat was missing his front left foot,
But you know, for him
and
to
it is
catch prey,
presumed that with the amount of gin traps that have been used in the area by poachers, that he'd been caught at some stage and caught his foot in a gin trap and either pulled himself free or chewed his foot off at that point, which makes it very difficult for this cat to catch game. He has no claws to grab and hold on to game, and makes balance, as we noticed in the tree, quite difficult. So this was the ultimate cat to actually shoot. He was slightly under condition. He was a big cat, but he was slightly under condition, and I think that's why he took to the bait very quickly.
Here we are in Mozambique. This is day 1 of our safari. And look what we have. This beautiful cat came in just after dark. He's actually the second one we saw today. Clive and I got in the blind really early. Just the second bait that we checked today had been hit, and the way it had been eaten and the amount of what had been eaten, Clive said, "You know, we need to sit on this right now." And that's what we did. We put up a blind, and we got in there. And an hour and a half, 2 hours later, a female came into the bait, and she didn't stay around long, but seeing her in the daylight was absolutely amazing. And just a short while later, right at dark, this old tom came in, and I tell you what, looking for the right cat to take, this was the absolute right cat to take. We knew he was injured, or we thought he had been injured. Clive noticed him having a limp. We could see an injury actually to his testicles from the tree. And then when we came up on him after the shot, his front left paw is missing. It actually got caught in a snare or a trap somewhere along the way. So this guy, he's a good sized cat, but he's really thin. He's had trouble eating because of his injuries. And so yeah, talk about conservation at its best. This was the absolute right cat to take. Not breeding, injured, wounded, and he was in for a hard rest of his life. And thank God we were able to do it quick and easy and put him out of his troubles. And got a long way to go yet.